What if I told you that a banana duct taped to a wall could sell for millions of dollars, but a mural painted in protest could be priceless? What if spray paint or even a gorilla mask could invoke more response than $1 million ad campaign? From anonymous street corners to global galleries, artists have been loudly and quietly changing the world. Today, we are diving into the beautiful, bold, and artistic world, and creative world of artistic activism, where paint becomes protest and creativity becomes a catalyst for change in communities. Hello, my name is Rosie, LeCompte, and welcome to my TED Talk. What is the role of street art in social movements? To answer this question, we must first define what is street art. Street art is visual art created in public locations for public visibility. It's a contemporary art movement, also known as urban art, and involves techniques like graffiti, stencils, murals, and posters. Street art can be seen as a way to reclaim public spaces, express personal or political statements about the surrounding society. Regardless of medium, street art can be separated into reconstructive or deconstructive artistic activism. Both of these tactics are used in social movements, but they have very different goals and impacts. Reconstructive artistic activism aims to build a new culture upon the ruins of an outworn system. It builds community, fosters new possibilities, with a future using alternative narratives. The empowering tone of these pieces is often shown in public murals and street art. Reconstructive activism doesn't just imagine a better future, but it actively shapes it using creativity to build new narratives that make the future feel possible. The reconstructive elements can be shown both in the process and in the final messaging of the art creator. The Philadelphia Mural Program was founded in 1984 as a response to a surge in graffiti, vandalism, and trespassing in their community. They wanted to create a program that could spark change and unite the community through the vibrant forces of public art. Since its founding, the program has created more than 4,000 public murals in the Philadelphia area, and each year there are 50 to 100 works of public art created, and each of those often has between 200 and 250 artists and community members involved. The program thrives because of the large number of community participants who help with the creation of murals. The Philadelphia Mural Program and its participants saw the benefits of community engagement in the murals, claiming it's no longer a dual dialogue between the artist and the artwork, but there's a third component, which is the people. By creating a space for community voices to be heard, they were able to transform the voices and the way they were presented in the community from graffiti and trespassing and vandalism to impactful murals. One of the first projects to be created in the late 80s was the Spring Street Bridge, which is the highway bridge that goes over the Schuylkill River. And this was one of the projects that set up what the program would become known for. Over 6 weeks, lead artist Jane Golden and 100+ young people from the Mantua community would transform the bridge into a mural that would launch community murals in Philly, as it was the biggest project they had done to date. While talking about the experience, Jane shared that on the bridge, she was able to see firsthand the power of the art at work. I saw the energy that was generated among the young people as they worked together to do something positive for themselves, their neighborhood, and the city they called home. These murals are often shown depicting community empowerment, social justice, and positive change. They try and show the voices of the people in their communities, especially the minorities. These messages aim to uplift the community, spark dialogue, and foster a sense of unity and pride. Another example of reconstructive street art is the Black Lives Matter street art that was created in over 65 major cities in the US, like Washington, D.C., Dallas, Denver, Seattle, and Brooklyn. Foley Square in New York City became a hub for artistic activism, featuring a massive street mural spelling out Black Lives Matter in both a vibrant and deeply symbolic way. According to one of the lead artists, Sophia Dawson, the letters in the word lives represented a variety of different things. The L for the mothers of children who had been killed from police brutality. The I was inspired by Emory Douglas, who is the main artist behind the Black Panther Party, and her work often had themes of Black power and justice. The V for African diaspora culture. The E highlighted the imprisoned Black Panther Party members. And the S contained Bible passages connecting faith and resistance into the movement. Artistic activism arises when artists respond to the things happening in the world around them. George Floyd's death sparked a national movement unlike things we'd seen in the previous years. In the 2 years following his death, about 2,700 pieces of street art alone were created worldwide. And between 20 and 25 million people engaged in Black Lives Matter protests around the world. However, because of the subjective nature of art itself, not all artistic activism can fall neatly into the reconstructive and deconstructive framework that I've begun to set up. The lines blurred further in Washington, D.C., with the order to remove the famous yellow letters in Black Lives Matter Plaza. As of March 10th, Bill H.R. 1774 was issued to the city to remove the mural and rename the plaza or lose federal funding. The mural in question is only a few blocks from the White House. The Black Lives Matter movement often calls attention to systemic racism and police brutality. This is a narrative that the Republican Party often tries to downplay. Some Republicans could view the mural as a symbol of a push to reduce police budgets, in which they are opposed, arguing it would lead to increased crime. The push to remove the Black Lives Matter mural near the White House speaks volumes about its power, not only as art, but as a symbol of the movement. Its very existence has challenged dominant narratives so effectively that lawmakers are now trying to erase it, proving just how deeply it has disrupted and reconstructed public dialogue around race, justice, and power. Deconstructive activism challenges existing narratives, symbols, and ideologies. The provocative nature of this type of activism makes satirical posters, street art, and graffiti the main mode of expression. By appearing in unexpected places and using bold imagery or humor, they mirror the urgency and defiance that is the heart of deconstructive activism. The medium itself becomes part of the message, breaking down barriers between the artist and the audience, and demanding that the viewers confront some of these uncomfortable truths. The provocative posters by a group known as Guerrilla Girls were famous in the 90s as part of the feminist art movement. Their most famous poster was, "Do women have to be naked to get into the Met Museum?" It was presented with the statistic that less than 5% of the artists in the modern art section were women, but 85% of the nudes were female. The group used the provocative nature of this poster to their advantage. It caught people's attention with its bold imagery, concise messaging, and eye-catching imagery. It was designed to be effective in public spaces. The public response to the poster was mixed. Women artists loved them, almost everyone else hated them, but no one could stop talking about them, proving just how effective it was in stimulating public discourse around gender equality in art. Lisa Phillips, the curator at Whitney Museum of American Art, said it was extremely effective in reorienting art world thinking. While no formal response was initially presented by the Met in response to the poster, the more notable response came in 2021 when the poster was accepted into their permanent collection and displayed as part of the 2021-2022 exhibition, Prints, Revolution, and Activism. The reviews for that exhibition highlighted just how effectively the Met was able to communicate the intersections of art and social justice. Art as a vehicle for social commentary is part of what makes the movement so effective, which goes into my next speaker, Banksy. Banksy is an English-based street artist whose identity has remained unknown. He's famous for his stencils and graffiti with political messaging, particularly about war, but this piece happened to be his response to the Black Lives Matter movement. The flag, as you can see, is beginning to burn under the memorial, which was, of course, George Floyd's memorial. But there's smaller details too. The stars, one of the most recognizable parts of the flag, has been transformed to represent bullet holes, which is celebrating, or not celebrating perhaps, but is describing the violence that sparked the movement. The flag, which is traditionally seen as a symbol of freedom and democracy, becomes a critique of the systems that it used to uphold, and how they are literally going up in flames, or at least that is the artist's opinion. He also famously critiqued the commercialization of art in a very deconstructive way in 2018 when Girl with Balloon shredded at Sotheby's auction. Display.
It should just play if you click it, does it not? Click it forward? No, click the forward arrow. Like you're changing slides. It should just play it. No. Weird.
You want to try the computer?
Yeah.
Art connoisseurs could only watch in horror as an expensive piece was shredded before their eyes. No soup.
Basic question how something meant to challenge systems of power could become a luxury object for the very elite in which it critiqued. By putting it in auction and then having it shred, he was commenting directly on the commercialization of art and how it was never meant to be collected. It was always meant to be something on the streets, passing on a message, not hanging in some private gallery somewhere. By having it deconstruct, he blurs the lines between protest and performance, turning the destruction itself into part of the artwork's legacy. Artistic activism is often unconventional, but I think that's part of what makes it so effective. Unlike speeches, protests, policy papers, art can bypass the barriers of language, education, and even political affiliation. It connects with people on an emotional level through color, imagery, symbolism, and metaphor, and that often provokes a visceral response from its audience. With the rise of digital platforms like Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, art that used to be seen on a single street corner can now be shared globally in a matter of minutes. And so we've seen movements get sparked across continents through the introduction of these platforms. Not everyone is an artist. The role of the rest of us is to engage with the art that artists are creating in response to the things going on in the world around us. Ask questions. Support local creators. And engage with the art in the community around you. Whether that's stopping to take a pretty selfie in front of any of the handful of murals just in downtown Durango alone. For me, it is the creating. By creating For me, it is the creating, and that's happening right now, downstairs in our school commons. The mural that I'm working on, I hope to have impacts in our school by creating a visual identity that students can see themselves reflected in. Something bright, unifying, something rooted in the community values that we all are trying to uphold. No, it's not gonna click to my next slide, is it?
Just click it on the computer. That's fine. Yep.
I'm so sorry, guys. I don't know what I'm doing.
Here.
It's not my strong suit.
Keep talking. I'll click it on this.
The project fits the mold of reconstructive activism because it imagines a positive, inclusive identity and begins to build it through art. By making the process collaborative, inviting others to share their ideas, help with the painting, and generate the words that will go at the bottom of the mural, I'm hoping students will feel inspired to leave their own mark. I'm hoping to spark pride and creativity and connection among our community. The mural will become more than just paint on the wall, but it'll become a symbol of our school culture and community. It shows that when we come together with intention and imagination, we can create something beautiful, because art doesn't just exist to be looked at. It's meant to be felt, discussed, challenged, and remembered. And in a world where so many people feel unseen and unheard, art offers a way to amplify these voices and envision alternatives. Thank you.